Actually, I knew some friends that did have a pit bull, but I had never met it. And from what I understood, it was a big baby, and it played with the cat in the house and played with the kids in the house, and it was a very good family dog. But I didn't have personal experience. I mean, when you live in a city or even near a city, you do hear about all the good and bad that happens, and there was always dog attacks on people, dog attacks on other dogs that I had heard about, and often they involved pit bulls. And then I remember thinking, about the people I knew that had the pit bull, but my own experience with any kind of dog has been that certain breeds have certain tendencies, whether they be positives or negatives, but a lot of it is how they're brought up and the people that are around them.
What did you think when I told you that I was going to be moving in with someone who had a pit bull?
Not in a negative way. I think I just thought, oh, well, that's different, or, that's something that I haven't experienced because I had never had a personal relationship with a pit bull. So I don't think I was afraid, but I think I thought that it was interesting.
And then when you met Treble, what did you think of him?
It's funny, at first I thought he was an unfriendly dog because he is not trained to jump on people and lick them and make a big deal out of people, meeting people. He's more focused on his own little world and his toys or running or whatever it is that he's doing. So at first I thought it was odd, and I thought maybe he just wasn't friendly, but then I realized that was not the case at all. People have preconceived notions about different breeds, or they just have personal preferences, and either they love a breed or they don't like it, and they don't even have to have a lot of rationale as to why they feel that way. But there are dogs that have bad reputations, and my Chow Chow was one, but we loved him, and he was very gentle with us, and Treble's a big baby. Really. I still think he's different from the dogs that I've had, but that may be because he is so well behaved. My dogs were well behaved in the house, but I couldn't walk around with my doors open or my fence open and expect that they'd stay there. So he's a different personality. He wants to have your approval, but he is very focused on his owners and his toys. And he's not food oriented. Maybe that's the biggest difference between him and my dogs.
Why haven't you had to socialize your dogs as much?
Because they didn't go anywhere, basically. Since I've lived in where I am now, which is almost 22 years, we have a fenced-in yard, and it's big enough for them to get the exercise that they need. Occasionally we would walk them on a leash, but it wasn't really something. We probably should have been doing it, but we didn't have to do it, so we didn't. And if I did walk them, it was on my own property. We didn't take them to dog parks. They were really only around family dogs. They really were not around people they didn't know or stray dogs or other dogs. So it wasn't that much of an issue just because of our living situation. If I had to walk a dog for it to get exercise, then socialization and how they behaved in public would be a lot more important.
Do you think that you would have to act differently with Treble or another pit bull in training them than you did your other dogs?
That's a good question. I don't know. I may be more sure that maybe I would be sure that he behaved off-leash because of his reputation, because there are people that are afraid of them, and because publicly they don't have a good reputation. And I know if a pit bull's involved in any kind of altercation with other animals or with humans, then the pit bull's the one that's going to suffer for that. So probably, I would be sure that either I wouldn't put him in those positions, or he would have to be very well behaved.